What's up, guys? It's Manic here with Manic Conspiracies. Today we're going to be talking about, are we living in a simulation? The simulation theory that a lot of people believe in and talk about. The most famous person to talk about it, in my opinion, is Elon Musk. And so basically, scientists believe that we could be living in a simulation. Elon Musk has said at a conference that there's 1,000,000,000 to 1 chance we're living in base reality. Musk is just one of the people to take a keen interest in the simulation hypotheses, which argues that what we experience as reality is actually a giant computer simulation created by more sophisticated intelligence. It sounds a lot like The Matrix because that's kind of like what it is. According to the New Yorker profile, there are 2 tech billionaires secretly engaging scientists to work on breaking us out of the simulation. And that's a little bit weird to me because if you're really trying to get us out of it, that means we're in one. So one popular argument for this, outside of acid trips, it came from Oxford University's Nick Bostrom in 2003. Although the idea of simulation has been around as far as the 17th century philosopher Rene Descartes. And I know I butchered that name, I'm so sorry, but y'all know who I'm talking about. The argument basically says if we believe there is nothing supernatural about what causes consciousness and it's merely the product of a very complex architecture in the human brain, we'll be able to reproduce it. Soon there will be nothing technical standing in the way to making machines that have their own consciousness, aka robots, etc. At the same time, video games are becoming more and more sophisticated, and in the future we'll be able to have simulations of conscious entities inside them. And that is completely real to me because we already have the virtual reality headsets. Everything can really be put on simulations to kind of make you think, is this real or not? 40 years ago we had Pong, and that was just 2 rectangles and a dot. 40 years later, we have 3D simulations with millions of people playing, and it's still getting better every single year. We have virtual reality now. If you assume any rate of improvement at all, then the games will become indistinguishable from reality, and that's what really is the kicker here, is that the way technology is growing and progressing, a lot of people are saying that with video games, how they are now and how they're becoming, it's going to be hard to distinguish between a video game and reality, and that's scary. If one progresses at the current rate of technology, we quickly will be a society where there are artificial entities living in simulations that are much more abundant than human beings. If there are many more simulated minds than organic ones, the chances of us being among the real minds starts to look more and more unlikely. If in the future there are more digital people living in simulated environments than there are today, then what is to say that we are not part of that already? Reasons to believe that the universe is a simulation include the fact that it behaves mathematically and is broken up into pieces, like a pixelated video game. Even things that we think of as continuous time, energy, space, volume all have a finite limit to their size. If that's the case, then our universe is both computable and finite. Those properties allow the universe to be stimulated. Quite frankly, if we're not living in a simulation, it is an extraordinary, unlikely circumstance. So who has created the simulation is a question that gets brought up. And that being answered would be our future selves. Not everyone is so convinced by the hypotheses. Is it logically possible that we are in a simulation? Yes, it is. Are we probably in a simulation? Max Tegmark, a professor of physics at MIT, says probably not. In order to make the argument in the first place, we need to know what the fundamental laws of physics are where the simulations are being made. And if we are in a simulation, then we have no clue what the laws of physics are. And what he teaches at MIT would be the simulated laws of physics. Harvard Law Harvard physicist Lisa Randall's even more skeptical. It's also a lot of hubris to think that we would be what ended up being simulated. And to be honest with you, I'm not sure. My personal opinion, I'm not sure if we're in a simulation right now, but I definitely think that it's possible. I think it's possible that we are, but I think if we're not, I definitely think we're going to get there. I definitely think that there is going to be a technological advance to where we do want to create a simulation, whether that be to, you know, relive the past or play us as a video game, you know, something like that. So basically, suppose someone is simulating our universe. It would be very tempting to cut corners in ways that make the simulation cheaper to run. You could look for evidence of that in an experiment. First, it provides a scientific basis for some kind of afterlife or larger domain of reality above our world. You don't need a miracle, faith, or anything special to believe it. It comes naturally out of the laws of physics, and that is what Tegmark said. Second, it means we will soon have the same ability to create our own simulations. We will have the power of mind and matter to be able to create whatever we want and occupy those worlds. And that ties me back into religion and the afterlife. I definitely believe that because we have this theory, and there isn't a lot of evidence, you know, saying that yes, there is an afterlife, no, there isn't an afterlife. I think that that's a big part of why we also could be in a simulation, is because the whole religion and God and being under one person could stand for a simulation of that being the creator of the game, of the simulation. We really don't know, like I've said, but it definitely seems possible, and a lot of scientists have talked about it being possible. It's interesting that it's just so interesting to think about being in a simulation. And you think of games like The Sims, where it's pretty much just normal human life. You work, you get a job, you age, you go to school, you go to college, you have family, you have to fulfill your needs throughout the game of feeding yourself and going to the bathroom and showering and, you know, everything that we as humans have to do. And that's what makes me think that the simulation theory could be very possible, because of the fact of the games like The Sims. So that's kind of my theory. I definitely don't know if we are currently in a simulation, but I definitely think it's possible, and I definitely think the simulation theory isn't just complete crap. I think it is something to think about, and it is something that could be real, or could be real in the near future. So I'm really curious to know your guys' thoughts on this. So like, subscribe, you know, let me know down in the comments, you know, do you believe in the simulation theory? Do you think we're a simulation? You know, let me know your thoughts. I appreciate you guys watching this video. I will be posting many more, and I hope you guys enjoyed. Peace out.